Hi, my name is Melissa Poisl. My husband TJ and I are the lead pastors at Soul Revival Church here in Racine, Wisconsin. Us, along with our three boys, planted Soul Revival Church here in Racine about a year and a half ago. And before that, we called Hope Co., which was formerly Alpine Chapel, our home church for about 6 years. So I just wanted to say thank you for the privilege and the honor to Natalie and the whole Hope Co. staff that I would get to share today's hope for today, just based on the things that God has been speaking to my heart in this season that we're in. I mentioned that I have three boys, and I love that they are wild and excited about life 100% of the time. One of the things that we just went through is the excitement of Christmas, right? So every day leading up to Christmas, they would ask our device, our Alexa device, how many days until Christmas? How many days until Christmas? And finally, we get to Christmas Day, and I kid you not, my 4-year-old went over to our device after opening all of his presents and was like, how many days until Easter? I was like, buddy, we are still in Christmas. You haven't even played with all of your new toys. Why do you want to know how many days until Easter? And he said, well, because that's what's next. And I'm excited about what's next. And I thought, wow, isn't that human nature? We're always looking for what's next. What's the next season going to bring? What are we going to have, in the new season? What are we going to get to do and experience? And once one thing is over with, we're already looking forward to the next thing. And oftentimes, I feel like we lose our appreciation for the moment that we're in. Now, we live in the Midwest, and I've grown up in the Midwest, so I've been blessed to have all 4 seasons all my life. Spring, summer, fall, winter. And what I've grown to realize is how much the seasons that we walk through, the changes that we walk through in the seasons of our weather, actually help us understand and relate to God in our spiritual life, and how we go through different seasons in our spiritual life as well. And I thought, wow, isn't that true of our spiritual life? We're always looking for the next season. We're always looking for the next thing. Oftentimes we miss the moment, we miss the purpose and the plans that God has for us. We miss being able to celebrate and embrace our current season because we're wishing for the next one. Now, it's the middle of winter, and I feel like winter is the longest season of them all. And maybe you didn't grow up with Midwest winters and you were lucky. But for us, it's like that first snowfall is beautiful and fun and fresh. And then you get about a month in and you're like, is this ever going to end? The snow has turned gray, the skies are dark, the days are short. It's just a hard season around here, and we're ready for the next season. When I was praying about this message, I felt like God wanted to encourage us not to wish away the winter, not to be afraid of the winter seasons in our lives, in our spiritual and our walks with Him. Oftentimes, our spiritual journeys, when we're in that season of winter, things above the surface seem like, to our naked eye, that all growth has stopped. It's harder. It's a harder season to live in. Things seem more barren, cold, dark, and we wonder oftentimes, where is God? And when will He get me out of this season and into the next season? I'm tired of feeling like I'm putting all of this energy into my relationship with God and not seeing the fruits of that. Well, I want to encourage you. Something that I learned when I was researching how do trees survive and what is the cycle of life was that, yes, on the surface, in order to protect the trees, on the surface, everything does stop growing. And we don't see the fruit, and we don't see the flowers and the leaves and all of the beauty. But what happens if the soil is right? If the soil is right, the trees actually continue to grow. The roots continue to grow deep. And that's what God is encouraging us. Not with what we can see, but what we can't see. the growth that he's doing, the deepening of our faith, the strengthening of our roots. And he wants to encourage us. Don't fear the winter. Embrace the season that I have you in, because God is still at work and he has a plan and he has a purpose, even through the barren seasons or the seemingly barren seasons. There's something so special about winter, right? When spring comes and it seems like life is blooming all around us, there's something about spring that draws us outward to take in all of the glory and all of the beauty of God. But the beautiful thing about winter is that in that desolation or in that darkness, it takes us inward, right? We're finding ourselves retreating indoors to where it's warm, to where we can enjoy the Christmas lights or candlelight or the fire. And we find ourselves just by nature seeking out places of warmth and light and shelter. And that's true of our spiritual lives. When we find ourselves in a winter season, God's asking us, will you seek me out? Will you seek out the light? Will you seek out my comfort? Will you find your refuge in me? Let me be everything that you need in this season, and know that I'm still at work, that I still have a plan, that I still have a purpose. And actually, if we wish away the winter too quickly, if we don't embrace the season that we're in, we don't allow him to do the work underneath the surface, then we're not going to get to see and experience all of the beautiful flourishing and growth that will come in the next season. He has a plan. He has a purpose. He wants to do the work beneath the surface. Psalms 105 verses 4 says, seek more of his strength. Seek more of him. Let's always be seeking the light of his face. When we're faced with darkness, when we're faced with loneliness, when we're faced with what our physical eyes see being more barren than what we would like, it forces us to go someplace deep within and say, what am I relying on? Where am I getting my hope? Where am I getting my joy? Where am I getting my light? What do I really need right now? And that answer is Jesus, right? Jesus is the only one who can carry us from one season to the next and allow us to flourish and see the purpose in every single season of our life. So that would be my encouragement for today. That no matter if you find yourself in a season where it feels barren, where it feels cold or dark or desolate, that God is still at work and that he's so lovingly growing you beneath the surface, strengthening your roots so that you can experience everything he has in the next season. But don't focus on the next season, focus on the now, because he has a plan and a purpose for right now.